Hello, hello, hello. How are you? How's everybody this morning? I'm in the morning. You may be in the afternoon. You may be in the evening. But whatever time zone you are in, hello. I'm so glad to be with you. And I hope you've had a good week, good weekend, all of that. I hope you have. I hope you have enjoyed, and I hope you have paid more attention to your words. I hope that you caught yourself when you started saying or thinking opposite from what God, I call him Daddy, you may call him Most High, Jehovah, Creator, Heavenly Father, whatever your relationship is with him. I hope that you paid attention to what he said and lined your words up with what he said instead of uh, doing saying things that are contrary to what he said and that will not bring what he wants you to have, which is that abundant life. Okay. All right. And for those of you all that are new and you're just coming on with me, I'm Shauna Grace. I'm a certified life coach, and I deal with relationships and people who deal with low self esteem. Now, if that's not your issue, then thank you for stopping by. And I know you'll go on and find the podcast that does speak to your issue. But for those of you all who do have those issues and you're dealing with that, and we have been dealing with really the relationships with ourselves. We've been dealing with a new start, and now we're dealing with how it brings a new image. And I hope that your new image is now coming more and more into focus because of these podcasts that we bring to you. I am full of experience, and I just talk plain. I don't have any fancy words and all this kind of thing. I just have me. I am full of experience in these areas from all of the traumas and speed bumps and challenges and mistakes of my own that I have experienced down through the years and through life. So, with that said, last week we talked about your words lining up with Daddy's words. He said you were good and very good in Genesis. He said everything he made was good and very good. Then he said that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. He said you were a marvelous work, and he said you were royalty. I gave you those four things. Now, he said a whole lot more, but those four things right there, I told you to just continue to practice saying those things so that your mind constantly knows you are good and very good. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. You are marvelous work, and you're royalty. Yes. And I wanted you to practice that until we got back together this morning or today, whichever time zone you're in. And this week, I told you last week, we were starting to talk about you being so invested in loving people that you're not paying attention if they're loving you back. Now that's pretty heavy. And we're going to unpack that for a while. Uh Probably this week and next week. We're going to deal with you being so invested You having tunnel vision. Excuse me. You having tunnel vision. Okay. You having tunnel vision. And you say, well, what is tunnel vision? This is what tunnel vision is. Tunnel vision in simple form is being so focused on a particular thing. You hear a lot of women say, me and a tunnel vision. They just, you talking to them about things and they don't hear you because their only focus is this, whatever this is. And tunnel vision is just that. You're so focused. Your focus is on loving people, loving your inner circle, loving your significant other, loving your children, loving your BFFs, loving those in the local ministry, that you do not pay attention. You do not pay attention to those that you are loving if they're loving you back. Okay, that's the simplest way. The actual, what we call Webster Dictionary, says that tunnel vision is the constriction of the visual field resulting in loss of peripheral vision. Now, peripheral vision is what's around you. That's peripheral vision, is what's around you. Okay? So when you have tunnel vision, you pay none of that any mind. You just focused on that part of right here, that anything around right here, you don't even, you block it out. Now, when it comes to loving people, when it comes to loving folks, you don't need tunnel vision. Okay? You don't. You don't need tunnel vision. What you need is an awareness of your surroundings. You know, as, let me fix my phone. I forgot to fix my phone, y'all. Sorry about that. Uh when you think of other things that you're dealing with, you have a peripheral vision. But when you're only thinking about this one particular thing, here's how I can make it real clear for you. You've seen people, you've been good to them, you've been there for them, you if they, whatever they needed, you were there. And this has been years of you being there. No matter what trauma they went through, you walked with them through it. They had to go to the hospital, you took them. You stayed there. If they got a terrible diagnosis, you were right there at the bedside. Excuse me, until, you know, they got over it and all this kind of thing. Babies were born, you were right there. Matter of fact, they even made you the godmother or the godfather, because this, well, I'm talking to men and women when I talk, because men are going through this just like women. Okay. If they were short on cash, you were right there. Okay. So with that said, with that said, okay, you have one time, just one, that you were not able to be there. They forgot all the times you were there, They forgot all the times you did do, and they have tunnel vision now, focusing on that you were not able to do it this time. You didn't come through this time. You didn't give them this time. You wasn't there for them this time. And you're sitting going, now wait a minute. Wait a minute. I done been there 15 years, didn't miss a beat. And this one time, I wasn't able. And you all out of sorts. What's up with that? Excuse me. And you begin to think. Okay. What about all the other times that I have been there? You call them now, they won't answer the phone. You go by their house, they won't open the door. Cars in the yard, they won't open the door. Excuse me. Guess my throat got the bugs in it this morning, trying to get it awakened. Everything. I mean, it's like, okay. They get ready to go somewhere, they don't call you. You look on Facebook, you find out they've been here, they've been there, they've been here, they've been there, they've been here, and they have been there. Okay? But no, nothing. Nothing. And you sit back and you think, now is this really happening? Because it's been 15 years and I ain't missed a beat. This was one time I wasn't able. Just one. And it just tripped you out like this. Then you begin to sit down and think, well, now, if this is how this has gone, well, were we really tight, or was I just your bank, convenience, nurse, taxi driver, or chauffeur? Because taxi you pay. Chauffeur. What and all of a sudden you get to sit back and look at, let me see if I can get that glare off here. Yeah, that's a little better. No. Yeah. You sit back and look at all of the years that you spent loving them, and one time, and all of their love is just gone. Was it that now the love is gone? Or was it that maybe it was never there, but you were too busy being there? You were too busy loving them. You didn't recognize or sense that they really, didn't love you. You get me? You were so invested. That was that tunnel vision. You had such tunnel vision concerning them that you didn't pay the peripheral area any mind. It was just all about you loving them. It was just you loving them. Many a times, even in significant other relationships, and God, I could write a book on that. You're so invested in loving him and looking good for him and making sure you carve out time for him and you're there for him. You just when he calls, you have nothing but yeses. You never have a no until you're not paying any attention to the peripheral part. What is the peripheral part, Shauna Grace? How much effort is he reciprocating? Because when he calls you, you're like, okay, all right, babe, I'll make it work. But when you call him, he tells you, babe, I can't. I got a meeting, or I can't. My family and I, we've got a family reunion, and I won't be. He'll give you a no, but you don't give him nothing but yeses. You rearrange everything. You even invite him to your family reunion. You tell him, say, well, listen, how about come on and go to the family reunion with me? And then after we've stayed a little while, we'll leave and I can go with you, do what you want to do. As long as he can get what he wants, he'll be okay. But when it comes to you, you get a flat no. And you're trying to explain to him how important this is, that, you really want him there, or you really want him to do this, or whatever the situation is. And he says, honey, I'm sorry. I just can't. And instead of you paying attention to what is being reciprocated to you, you start making excuses. Oh, well, babe, it's okay. I understand. If I've asked you this much and you still telling me no, then I know you really can't. No, it wasn't that he really couldn't. He just wasn't gonna do it. Because he knew you were going to what's the word I'm looking for? He knew that you were going to um rationalize the situation and be all right with him not being there for you, even though you rearrange your schedule, break dates with your BFFs, you miss certain events to be with him. Now, this is not just for significant other relationships. This is for anything and anybody. People don't know what you are rearranging to be there for them. But when it comes your time to ask them, they've got to check their schedule. Or they'll just tell you, no, I can't. I got this to do. I got that to do. I got the other to do. Now, you had things to do as well. But what did you do? You turned around. Okay. You turned around and you revamped your schedule to make sure. Why? Because you made them a priority that they didn't make you. Huh? Now I'm gonna let you just think about that for a minute and let me, excuse me, and be right back. All right. Thank you. Um, you made them a priority. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago. You made them a priority that they did not make you. They didn't make you a priority. Okay? They didn't. They didn't make you a priority. They made you a convenience. If it's convenient for them, they will. Whereas you made them a priority, which means I will make it happen. They didn't make it happen. And you pay you it because you had tunnel vision. because you had tunnel vision. Okay? Because you had tunnel vision now. You didn't pay attention to how they made you a convenience. I got my mug, y'all. I got my mug. Every day is a fresh start. And that's why we keep working on it. Because I want you to understand that every day is a fresh start. It is. Now, when you pay more attention to what you're doing instead of paying attention to what you all are doing, you teach people that they don't have to. Okay? You teach people that they don't have to. That's what you teach people. You teach people that, hey, you don't have to come toward me. I'll come toward you. You teach people that excuse me. You teach people that it's okay. I love you. That's all that matters to me, is that I love you. Well, that's not how it goes. Even Jesus wrote about, if you love me, keep my commandments. He put a reciprocation on, okay, I'm loving you, but I'm gonna watch how you love me by how you go by what I see. Now, if Jesus can pay attention to how people are reciprocating love to him, don't you think you need to do the same thing? I got a parent right now. Excuse me. She has tunnel vision. She makes excuses for the reciprocation that she gets from their side. You get what I'm saying? And I'm trying to let her know. No. Mm-mm. Now, mind you, some things and some people are going to get caught up in the mix, but you're going to have to be all right with that until things get like they should be. You're making trips, you're spending money while they take their money, go everywhere else they want to go, buy everything else they want to buy, but they don't come your way. I think you all heard me say back in one of the podcasts that I did, how that when I married my late husband, every weekend, he would make his rounds to go see his siblings. Every weekend he'd go make his rounds to see his siblings. Okay. And when we first got married, I went with him, you know, because I didn't have family. So I went, and siblings, what I mean, that was all he had. There were 8 of them. It's just my sister now. So, I like a big family. So I went, went with him. But after a while, Holy Spirit checked me. He said, how many times have they been up in this driveway to see y'all? It almost froze me. I said, excuse me. I said, Lord, they haven't. He said, yeah. He said, I know. And that's all he said. But when he said it, because I was coming into maturity more and more, because see, you never stop coming into maturity. There are so many phases of maturity. You never stop coming into the phases of it. You come into a phase of it here, and then over here, you still got to grow some more. You follow me? So I began to look. I kept going a few more times, and they never came. And one day I just told my husband, I said, sweetheart, I said, I don't mean any harm. I said, I don't come between people and their families. I said, now you spend all your weekend time with your siblings. I said, but I haven't seen them come up in your driveway not one time. I said, now the distance from your house to their house is no different from their house to your house. I said, now I'm not going to stop you. You can go every weekend. I have no problem with it. Go right ahead. I said, but I'm not going another time until their tires get up in this driveway. They can spend some of that Saturday coming to see us, like you taking all your Saturday and Sunday to go see them. He didn't like it. I didn't care. Because I had become aware. See, at first I had tunnel vision. You get me? I had tunnel vision. Oh, we going to see them. We going to love on them. And this. But when I got peripheral vision is when you look at that and everything else. I said, I don't do one-way streets. I don't. I go down one-way street if that's what I have to do. But if I don't have to, I don't deal with one-way streets now. I don't. I don't deal with one-way streets. I do not. I'm serious. I don't. I really don't. I have no problem. Okay? I have no problem with that part. I just have no problem with it. I have no problem. None. So what I'm saying to you is this. Check your tunnel vision out. Are you so focused on loving that you don't pay attention to whether you are loved? Let me say that again. Are you so invested in loving that you're so invested in loving that you do not pay attention to how well you're loved? Okay? That's the deal right there. That's the deal right there. That's the deal. How well are you invested in being loved? How much do you pay attention to being loved? Have you ever looked at women who are mean, who we say they mean? Let's put it like that. We say they're mean. They talk to their husband like they a child. And you see them husbands cough up. You hear me? You see them cough up. If that woman say, look, I want this, 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 and this by Friday. He said all he says, okay, baby. And Friday she got everything she told him that she wanted. You look at a woman who's loving, who's devoted, who's loyal, who's kind, and you watch her beg for what she wants, and sometimes never get it. She never gets it. She never gets it. You get what I'm saying? Never gets it. Never gets it. Never gets it. Now, I can't excuse me. I can't make you stop and pay attention, but I can advise you. You might want to do that because you are worth the same kind of love that you putting out. I don't care who it's to. Husband, children, BFFs, co-workers, body of Christ. I don't care. You are worth the same amount of love and the same kind of love that you are giving out. You're being there. You're loyal. You're a team player. You're worth that too. You know, I love using the word, the holy writings. I call it the word of the Lord in our discussions. No, it's not Bible study. So go there. Stop. It's not Bible study. The holy writings are not just for uh Wednesday night Bible study and Sunday morning. That's and some of you go Sunday evening. It's not, in other words, it's not just for the sanctuary, it's for everyday life. And here's what Matthew 24, 3 through 5 says. Jesus had explained, he was getting ready to go, and he had shared with his disciples some of the things that were going to take place. I'm sure he told them probably all of them that were going to take place, but maybe not in just one setting. And after this setting, the disciples came to him privately. They just wanted to talk to him by themselves. And they said, tell us when this stuff going to happen. All this stuff you're going to tell us, what's the signs? You know, that is things about the end. And Jesus' reply was in the 4th verse, 24 and 4. He said, take heed. Now, this is out the King James Version. That no man deceives you. Take heed that no man deceive you. And this was the clincher, was the 5th verse. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am the Christ, and shall deceive many. You say, well, what they got to do with what you're talking about? Take heed that you don't be deceived by people who say they love you, but their actions don't confirm what their mouth is saying. For you'll have a lot of people to come and say, oh, I love you. Oh, girl, we tight. Oh, man, you know how we roll. when in actuality, you the only one tight and you the only one rolling. Every time it's time for them to roll, they come up with excuses. They come up with, excuse me, they come up with, oh, you know what? You know I would. Man, you know I would now. Come on. You know I would. But I just can't this time. Oh, man, you cool. I just asked, but thanks for letting me know. You cool. Okay. Now, one time here and there, but when it gets to be a pattern, you have to wonder. You have to put on your peripheral vision then and pay attention. How come I get no's, but I give you yeses? Now, see, because you have tunnel vision, you ain't thinking about their no's. You like, oh well, we tight. I know if they would, if they could. You start rationalizing it out. And what you taught them is they can tell you no, and y'all still be cool. They can tell you no, and they still be cool. But try telling them a few no's and see how cool y'all be. You can't be so invested. Okay? You can't be so invested in loving people. You can't be tunnel vision loving people. Excuse me, that you never have peripheral vision and analyze how well are they loving you. You have to balance it out. Now, because when you wake up, when you wake up now, because see, you like Matthew 24:4 and say, take heed that you don't be deceived. Because you have narcissists in both genders. You have narcissists in both genders. There are narcissist women, just like there are narcissist men. And narcissist women know how to just talk, 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 talk. Oh, girl, come on. You know I'm going to be there. You know I'm going to be there. Look, thank you for doing this for me. You know I'm going to be there when you need me. Oh, they talk you right through doing for them while they're deceiving you that they're going to do for you. And when the second time around of them not being there comes up, it's time for you to get peripheral vision. Don't mean, see, this is the thing. We have the idea that if we don't show some type of love, it really not love. That's true until you understand that you're doing all the giving. It's time then for you to say, okay, now I've been there and I have, I've rearranged schedules, I've done all this stuff, and I need them this time. And they told me, girl, I'm sorry, but I got this to do and I got to get it done. I can't. They couldn't even give you an hour of their time. You done give them weeks of yours. We talked about this a few weeks back. You don't give them weeks of your time, but they can't even give you an hour of their time. It's time for you to put on peripheral vision, honey. Because you don't need people in your circle. You don't need people that you associate with that are leeches. You say, well, what is a leech? A leech sucks the life out of you and gives nothing in return. Sucks the very life out of you. You can say a tick. A tick just gets in a young boy, I think, had some kind of brain, I don't know, it was brain problem or something. He had a big afro he wore all the time. Didn't know a tick had got down in that hair and was sucking the blood out of his brain. And I think they had to cut the hair because they had to do surgery. And when they cut the hair, they found a tick married to his scalp. And they found out where the problem was. That tick was sucking the blood out. Now, you know that was the last of the afro. You get what I'm saying? You get me? So this week we're gonna deal with, now I'm scheduled to be gone again. So the setting will be different. But what I want you to understand is that you need to get out of tunnel vision and get into peripheral vision and pay attention to what's being reciprocated. You make it, anytime you invest something, you're looking to get something back out of it. Warren Buffett is not one of the richest men in the world because he made all these investments and didn't get no returns. It's because he did. And he got returns. He made his money work for him. You get what I'm saying? Do you get what I'm saying? You get me? So as we go on this week, I want you to pay attention. That don't mean you start hating and you start being bitter and you start being resentful because you giving all of this and they ain't giving it. No, 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 no. That's not what this session is about. This session is about you getting out of tunnel vision and getting to peripheral vision so you can start monitoring your investments. So you can start putting no's in between your yeses too. Okay? Because you're just as valuable as they are. You are just as valuable as they are. And if you can rearrange your schedule and be there, they can do the same thing. And when they can't, then that tells you you're not a priority. Because I promise you, if you are a priority, oh, they'll change their schedule. They sure will. They'll rearrange it. They'll do whatever they have to do. Excuse me, because you are a priority. Okay? So as we go on talking tomorrow and Thursday, we do Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of each week until it's the week that I take a break. And that's only 4 times a year. We're going to talk about you doing all this investing and not paying attention that you're not getting that in a, reciprocating, okay? So you go on and think about it. And join me tomorrow as we continue to deal with your tunnel vision.